Welcome back everyone to the Visum Pioneer channel. In today's video, I kind of wanted to showcase some of the difference between two of the more popular Visvim backpack releases from the brand. Most of you are familiar with the different size iterations, and I think we're all pretty familiar with the 20-liter version of the Visvim backpack. This is kind of like the model that they're most known for putting out, and I think it's a very nice blend of both materials, composition, and everything that we come to enjoy from the brand. So I have experienced a few different backpack pieces from the brand, and some have been a little bit more enjoyable than others. And I think in this video, not only will we be doing a comparison of the different sizes and styles, but I think also talking about some of the little details that often get overlooked when purchasing a backpack like these. The Visvim 20-liter backpack, and I want to say this is probably my favorite backpack that I own from the brand, is something that the brand is very much known for putting out. Most people that I know that collect Visvim have some kind of iteration of this bag. This is the 20-liter version, but there's also a 20XL that, ironically isn't 20 liters. It holds more than that. But, showcasing some of the differences, I think when holding them next to each other, because I do have the release with the polka dots on it, I think it's pretty clear that there's a size difference here in a very similar style. But I'll get a little bit more in depth about that in just a little bit. More than anything, I wanted to start the video off with this backpack because I think this is the style and size most people are going to gravitate towards. So this, honestly, you can consider it a mountaineering backpack or a hiking backpack. It has so many different utility features that I think are versatile and extremely usable for most people. There is an abundance of storage here, except for one place. These little side pockets, they have a Velcro piece to them. They're not that deep. Honestly, I hold hand sanitizer in one of them, and I think the other one is completely empty. So while there is a lot of interior space, just know that there isn't going to be much exterior. What I enjoy about this bag is the little premium details. For example, the base of the backpack is composed of this French, if I'm not mistaken, it's French vegetable tanned lambskin, and it's got a nice soft texture to it. I am pretty careless when it comes to these bags, and so there's a lot of different variation in both the color of the leather due to being exposed to water and things like that. But I think it's a nice little touch, and it's one of those parts of this backpack that kind of ages very well. The other part that ages pretty significantly is the handle, because when you're picking up the bag, this is mostly where the oils from your hands will be touching, and so this has definitely seen a lot of wear. But it's one of those details that I find to be extremely worth it. You can take it off if you want to preserve it, but I think seeing this this component have some wear and tear to it definitely gives the bag a lot of character. So you do have this custom Visvim zipper front pocket. It's pretty deep actually. I tend to put sunglasses and things like that in the front pocket. You also have this larger main compartment that you have a laptop sleeve. You also have a smaller little piece where you can put some more some more important things. There's also this little button here that allows you to pass through headphones if that's something that some of you guys are still interested in. I know that some of you are very particular about your headsets, and so that might be a feature that is useful for some. The main material on the upper of the bag is going to be this Cordura fabric. It's it's a nice color and it's a nice material. It's durable and all that, but I don't want to say it's anything too special. You also have access to the larger back compartment of this bag, which opens up almost the entirety of the bag, so it makes it very easy to reach whatever it is you're trying to get inside of here. You also have another compartment here in the back. Another thing about this bag is that you do have access to that compartment through the side of the backpack, so if you don't want to open up the backpack in its entirety, you can do so by doing that. You do have these little side adjusters, which I put an umbrella on mine, and so now they're completely stretched out and low-key useless unless I use that umbrella. But it's one of those things where it's this backpack has gone so many different places with me, and it's a very essential piece in my, in all the different items that I own. And I really enjoy the color, and I'm glad I got this brown colorway because I think it ages the best. One of the things I'm not too happy with though is I know that, we want things to age and we want all that stuff, but we don't want them to fall apart. And a lot of the zippers on this particular bag have kind of become frayed and almost unusable. I have to grab the bag from some of the more plastic pieces of the zippers rather than the leather, because it's already kind of like coming apart. And I say already coming apart, I mean, I've owned this bag for like almost like 7 years, I want to say, or something like that. So, you know, it definitely has seen some like better days, but, you know, still, you'd want it to last a little bit longer. The, you know, actual portion that you'll be wearing does have several adjusters and it's padded. So overall, it's like a really comfortable backpack. But when people are thinking of buying the 20 liter, they're also looking at the 22 liter. To me, this bag isn't as interesting because there isn't as much going on. This is definitely one of those pieces that I would say, unless you get a crazy colorway like this like mustard one, it's one of those pieces that kind of flies under the radar. Again, you have that like dyed lambskin leather towards the bottom. To me, because this one is brand new, it hasn't been broken in yet. It's obviously not going to be as soft as the brown that I own. This is also one of those pieces that a lot of people enjoy, but tend to wait for it to go on sale because, you know, it's kind of hard to justify spending like over $1,000 for a backpack. But honestly, the way that my 20 liter backpack has been lasting, I think that they're definitely worth, you know, picking up. And if you can get a discount, it's one of those things where it's like, it'll definitely be worth like experimenting with. One thing that I did forget to mention though, is whenever you purchase these backpacks, for the most part, they'll come with like this dust bag for you to use. Very similar to like the garment bags that you get whenever buying items from like a trunk show. And because I am from LA, you guys already know. So for this season, they did release this 22 liter backpack in this like mustard colorway and this like purple colorway. I believe they also released it in black, so we kind of got this Lakers stain going on. And I think when I initially purchased this, I was like, let me experiment, let me go a little bit out there with some of my accessories. But I think the colors ended up being a little too much for me. And so I think that I'm most likely going to end up selling these. So if any of you guys are interested in picking these up, feel free to reach out in the DMs. But you know, they're really cool backpacks. I just low-key think I'd rather get a more subtle colorway, kind of like the gray or the black that's already been released. Much like the mustard, this backpack also does have that like French, like vegetable tanned lambskin here. You also have that on the zipper pockets. But unlike the previous backpack that I showed in the 20 liter, you don't have some of the different details across the upper, but you do have a lot of like internal like storage space. So very similar in the way that you're able to like put items away in the smaller pocket. You have a larger like laptop compartment and this very like wide opening for several different items. I think that the 22 liter is probably the better option for most people. And the reason I say that is because sometimes the 20 liter backpack can feel a little bit small. Like after 1 or 2 items in there for me, like clothing items, it's pretty much at capacity. Versus with these, it just feels like there's so much more room to like, you know, pack for a weekend. You also have this like large compartment similar to like the 20 liter, except in this case, it like opens up. I feel like it almost opens up like a little bit wider. But it's pretty much the same thing. You're able to access most of the compartment of the backpack. And one thing that they improve upon in a certain way is adding zippers to the side pockets. It's still relatively shallow, but I think it feels a little bit more secure having a zipper versus the Velcro that was on the 20 liter. And another thing that I forgot to mention is with the 22 liter, you only have one side pocket. You're losing access to the side pocket on the, I guess this would be the right-hand side, left-hand side. Depends how you look at it. It's on this side of the backpack. You have similar adjustment features on the back of the backpack as you do with the 20 liter, but overall it's like the style of this, especially when bought in like the right colorway, I think it's like also pretty nice. And it's one of those things where it's like you pick it up and this is a backpack that you buy and like hold on to for decades. Like it's gonna last you. And I see so many different like Visvim backpacks throughout the years from like 2005, 2006, constantly being sold on Grailed and places like that. So it's nice to know that these are items that, while yes, you're going to be spending more money from like the jump, it's going to be a piece that you're going to have, you know, in your rotation for a while. Another thing to mention, I don't know if this is true, but the straps on like the 22 liters feel like a bit beefier than like the 20 liter. And just giving you guys another look at the comparison between the 22 liter backpack and like a 20 XL. For me, this is probably the most special backpack in the collection. It released alongside a black and like white polka dot version and a brown and white polka dot version. There was also a few creasos that dropped as well. But for me, This is probably the perfect combination of Visvim backpacks because it's got the size and heft of the 22 liter, but the styling of the 20 liter backpack. This is a little bit out there, and to some, it might not be something you'd ever consider picking up. And I understand that, like it is pretty out there. But cool thing to note here, this leather actually aged this way. For any of you that own Skagways, you know, like when you first buy it, the leather on it is like white and pristine. But after it's seen a little bit of like weather and some elements, it turns into like this yellow color, which I personally don't mind. I think it looks really cool and it gives some nice like little details with this backpack. Very similar features as the other one. You do have access to the front compartment through this front zipper. You have this like main compartment opening with like a larger laptop pocket. And then you can also access the large like back compartment through the side of the backpack as well. And for me, this is like a perfect like 3-day weekend backpack. Like you can get so much stuff in this piece, and there's like so much design and like hand dyed details going on this upper, where it's like, yeah, the material is just a Cordura fabric, and while it does have some like nice like French lambskin or whatever like details, I think the fact that there's a little bit more flair to this backpack makes it enjoyable. I wouldn't say it's like a daily wear kind of thing because obviously it like stands out a lot. One thing though, with the white colorway, you're able to see stains so much more. Like I'd show you guys the back. It's a little dingy looking. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's one of those pieces that was a special release in regards to like design and overall like aesthetic. And I wish they would bring back this size of the backpack. While these, you know, colorways may not be for everyone, I'm definitely interested in hearing what you guys think. If you prefer the 20 liter backpack or the 22 liter. For me personally, as already stated, I would personally prefer this like larger version of the 20 liter backpack. I think it blends in the best like style from like the 20 liter and the overall size and capacity of the 22 liter backpack. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if you're interested in purchasing either the mustard or the purple backpack, please feel free to reach out through the Instagram DMs. And until next time, thank you all again for tuning in. Peace.